The New York Fire Department is out once again for a funeral of one of their own. But this funeral took place this July, almost 10 years after 9/11. Steve Mosiello was a fire marshal. He spent months organising the rescue and then recovery effort at Ground Zero in the midst of the toxic cloud. He died this summer from cancer of the esophagus.
Steve was a very brave guy, spent a lot of time down at the Trade Center site afterwards. And now, unfortunately, after breathing all that toxic dust and everything, he becomes sick. This is what we get. He's not the first, and he clearly won't be the last.
Rick Schneider is one of the many who came to say goodbye to good friend Steve. He also worked at Ground Zero for many months.
I have a problem with my lungs at this point, and I just get up and live every day as best I can right now. We're down there without respirators for several days until we were able to get masks, and that helped a little bit, but the damage has already been done for most of us.
Organisers representing victims estimate more than 1,000 first responders died since 9/11 from the toxic dust. A federal law passed last January is supposed to compensate all first responders who fell ill, but not all 9/11 related illnesses are covered. That's what Jeff Stronline learned the hard way.
I knew over 100 of these guys personally.
The day of September 11, 2001, Jeff lost many friends, but he was the picture of health until last March, when at 47 he was diagnosed with a rare form of brain cancer. After chemotherapy and a bone marrow transplant, he has been able to come back home.
Love you.
But there is more bad news. Despite the new law, cancers are still excluded from compensation.
With all these cancers coming up as from first responders, I think it's a no-brainer. They don't want to admit to it. They don't want to open a financial can of worms. That's what basically it's, going to become.
The family does have good health insurance. Still, they are already struggling financially because of Jeff's cancer.
Insurance is not going to cover everything eventually, and cancer is very expensive to treat.
More scientific studies and many years will be needed before any link can be established with some certainty between cancers and 9/11. But for many first responders and their families, it could be too late.